This is social media and mental wellness. How does big tech hack into your brain? Tech designers actively make decisions to influence and control your thoughts. For the most part, these are thoughts that you would never have had without the intervention of social media. Through the tracking of facial expressions, emotions, swipes, and taps, social media companies send notifications and alerts to your phone to keep you reeled in. Mood and emotion tracking apps know when we are vulnerable and take advantage of us by utilizing our own brains. The brain is more motivated to want something than to ever enjoy it. Endless scrolling is a feature of Facebook, TikTok, and Instagram that leans into this. Constant multitasking makes it hard for us to ever focus and concentrate on one thing. Right now, how many of us are thinking about our phones and what's on it? We tend to be drawn to negative content opposed to positive content. Think of everything that we watch. How much of it is truly uplifting or positive? Social comparison keeps us interested by giving us a life that we can compare ours to constantly. Finally, AI and confirmation bias. Your Google search results change when your location changes to be more like your surroundings and the majority of people around you. Search algorithms will show you content that will support your points of view as well, leading to a greater fissure of opinion in our already tumultuous world. There are only two industries that call their customers users: illegal drugs and software. Edward Tufte, a computer scientist and professor of computer science, political science, and statistics at Yale University, once said, I find this quote apropos, as smoking and social media rely on the same addictive tendencies that we as people have, and manipulates them to get us further hooked on the product that they are selling. How much is too much? How do we know if we've exceeded the threshold and become digital zombies? You're a digital zombie if you panic or freak out when you lose your phone. You panic or freak out when you lose internet connection. You are never without your phone. You eat with your phone. You sleep with your phone. You are on your phone when surrounded by people. You check your phone without realizing it. You endlessly scroll. You have walked into something or walked aimlessly while on your phone, and you forget where you are while on your phone. Did you get more than four of those? If so, you might be a digital zombie. Some more things to consider for you and your kids. Are you missing plans due to device use? Are you having a hard time concentrating in class while doing assignments or while working because of device use? Do you have a pain in the wrists or neck while using your phone? Are you not able to stand not having it? Do you feel impatient or fretful when you are not with your device? Continuing, do you have your device on your mind when you're not using it? Will you ever give up using your device even when your daily life is affected by it? Do you constantly check your device so as to not miss conversations between other people on social media? Are you using it longer than you intended to? And do people around you tell you you are using it more than you should? These are all signs of a more evasive addiction. The social media addiction scale uses criteria like daily life disturbances, constant anticipation, withdrawal, cyberspace orientated relationships, overuse, tolerance, loss of control, disruption, disregard, and preoccupation to determine how addicted an individual is to social media. Study after study links excessive device usage to anxiety, focus issues, attention problem, lack of quality sleep, and lack of quality personal relationships. The DSM 5 diagnosis criteria for substance use disorders are taking the substance in larger amounts for longer than you're meant to, wanting to cut down or stopping using the substance but not managing to, spending a lot of time getting, using, or recovering from use of the substance, cravings and urges to use the substance, not managing to do what you should at work, home, or school because of substance use, continuing to use when it causes problems in relationships, giving up important social, occupational, or recreational activities because of substance use, using the substance again and again even when it puts you in danger, Continuing to use even when you know you have a physical or psychological problem that could have been caused or made worse by the substance, needing more of the substance to get the effect you want or your tolerance, and developing of withdrawal symptoms, which can be relieved by taking more of the substance. And at the bottom, the severity. If you experience 2 to 3 of these symptoms, it is a mild addiction. 4 to 5 is a moderate addiction, and 6 or more would be considered a severe addiction to the substance. Behaviorally, you might be anxious. You might use for longer than intended. You might experience difficulty cutting back. You might neglect responsibilities or give up other activities, or even experience withdrawal symptoms. According to the theory of social comparison, there are 3 kinds of social comparisons that we make. The first being upward social comparison. And this takes place when we compare ourselves with others who we believe are better than us in some way. We often feel inferior as a result of upward social comparison. The next being downward social comparison, where we compare ourselves to others who we see as being worse off. The focus is making ourselves feel better about our own situation, assets, or skills. The last being lateral social comparison. This refers to comparing yourself to someone you see as equal to you in various areas. Most likely, this person would be a peer, as we tend to compare ourselves most often with others of the same age. These comparisons are exacerbated by social media and can lead to issues like increased depression, poor body image, decreased well-being, or eating disorders. This leads us to ask, what is the Goldilocks amount of screen time? Many studies have found that the perfect amount of screen time is 1 to 2 hours a day on weekdays, excluding any time that laptops or devices are needed for homework or work, and 3 to 4 hours a day on weekends. All newer phones are capable of managing screen time in the settings. Both Android and Apple allow you to set limits on time spent using their products. People who report experiencing fear of missing out tend to overuse their smartphones. They also report very high levels of anxiety. That is because excessive use of our smartphones interfere with social activities and therefore increase anxiety and depression. So it's really best to ask ourselves, what are we really missing out on? Overuse of smartphones lowers the attention span of individuals. Experiments on does my phone affect my mental health indicate that individuals were constantly distracted thinking about their phones. Other studies revealed that these individuals with heavy social media use had a minor gray matter in their brain. This gray area is responsible for attention control. Is our attention really where it needs to be in life? We should put our attention on people, invest in the relationships in front of us, primarily in person. Dopamine is a chemical in our brains that carries signals responsible for reward, pleasure, and motivation. Every time a notification comes from the phone, the brain releases dopamine. Same with a scroll or a like or a comment. The more this happens, the more our brain releases the dopamine, even before the notification. The prior release of dopamine creates the need to check your phone for the same brain response. With time, you will be spending more and more time on your phone and not on other essential activities. The blue light our phones emit also impacts your sleep. Excessive use of your device when you have some separation leads to a great deal of anxiety as well. Although smartphone use is crucial to everyday life activities, we now know that it is excessive use of smartphones that is likely to take away from your mental wellness. Try to, as much as possible, shift your focus to people and relationships rather than your devices. Authentic human connections build you up, builds your self-esteem, self-worth, and self-confidence, and gives you a greater sense of belonging. However, it is important to note that the relationship between screen time and mental health is complex and may be influenced by a range of factors, such as age, gender, socioeconomic status, and the type of screen activity. Overall, it is recommended that individuals limit their screen time and engage in alternative activities such as exercise, socializing with friends and family, and pursuing hobbies or interests. It is also important to prioritize healthy sleep habits and seek professional help if experiencing mental health issues. I've been Cody Keeler for ICANN. If you have any questions, comments, or concerns, please feel free to reach out. Thank you and have a good one.